I want to say... There wasn't a fight!
Naturally, the class had their doubts.
If there was no fight, how do we explain my lab being thrown into disarray?
Kirumi inquired. The blonde had no choice but to think on her feet. Perhaps if she was lucky, she would be able to pull some sort of chain of reasoning together. She considered the various possibilities and summoned an idea to the forefront of her mind.
Maybe that happened after he was dead. The culprit messed with the crime scene. That might be why we didn't find a murder weapon.
But would the culprit have had time to do that?
Ryoma wondered.
We found Gonta's body not 15 minutes after he died. The culprit would have had to rough the place up and split, and not wake up Tojo while they were at it.
Right, well...
Kaede was floundering. If she couldn't string together an answer, she risked losing the ears of her fellow classmates.
On second thought, what if Gonta roughed everything up on his own?
So after putting Maid to order to bed,
Miu reasoned.
he made a mess of her lab and just croaked?
No. I'm sure there was a killer.
Kaede thought out loud. But if there was a killer, what were they doing while Gonta-kun threw Tojo-san's lab into disarray? Kibo asked. Every question just raised another question. Logic dive. Start.
Who made a mess of the lab? Gonta. What was the culprit doing while he did? Nothing. Why didn't the culprit react? Because they didn't know he was doing that? Why not? Because the culprit never saw Gonta. How is this possible? Because the whole thing was a trap.
Complete.
It was all a big setup.
Kaede announced. The class was stunned into silence by Kaede's bold statement. She took this in stride, however, as she began to share her reasoning.
It's possible to murder someone without being in the room.
The blonde pointed out.
We all know that by now.
Kokichi gave Kaede a knowing smirk, indulging in a moment of shared recollection of the two's efforts.
Maybe there was something set up in Tojo-san's lab that would kill somebody. And Gonta-kun stumbled into it when he walked in.
Kaede theorized.
That way the time frame becomes a non-issue. And it explains how it looks like there was a fight, but there also wasn't.
If that's true,
Maki added.
it's possible that Toju falling unconscious was part of the trap, but Gonta's interference somehow kept it from working.
Angie didn't buy it, however. So wait, the culprit set a trap? But, where's the trap? Kaede intoned. Well, there's no mechanisms or anything, Angie reminded them. And if the culprit just removed them, how did they hide them in Kirumi's lab without her noticing them?
She has a point.
Kirumi concurred.
Before I fainted, I didn't notice anything odd in my room.
Maybe the trap was invisible or something?
Himiko guessed. Setting up an invisible trap sounds like the work of a magician to me. Kokichi shot back.
I'm not a magician.
Himiko protested.
I'm a mage. I use real magic, not tricks.
Kaede groaned. She had come so far, and the answer seemed to be tantalizingly close now. But what was she missing?
Who's ever heard of an invisible trap before?
She lamented. Kaito was getting tired of this circular train of logic, his eye back on his friend. If anyone could help them now, it was Shuichi, but he still wasn't responding. The detective seemed to be getting better, but Kaito knew he had to do something to speed the process along. Granted, he wasn't familiar with the ins and outs of an anxiety attack, but he was going to give it his level best. His voice barely above a whisper, to avoid alerting the others, Kaito addressed his friend. "Hey, buddy, are you in there? Just nod for me if you can hear me, okay?" Shuichi took a moment before silently nodding. Good. Okay, just stay calm. We're gonna get you through this. Just keep focused on me right now, okay? Shuichi briefly turned his head, his eyes glassy, but they quickly locked onto the face of his friend. Alright, are you scared? He shook his head. Worried? He nodded. Can you tell me what you're worried about? A few short breaths escaped the black-haired boy's mouth as he barely muttered an answer. I messed up. What do you mean? Everyone hates me. I don't think so. They don't trust me. I trust you. I can't figure out the case. Why not? I'm not good enough. Don't give me that! You're great at this! Kaito cheered. No, I should know better. I should know. I know you've got what it takes, the astronaut countered. You've proven that you can do it before. Is there something different this time? You've got me on your side, just like always, Kaito reminded him. No matter what, you're my sidekick. That means if someone's mad or disappointed, that's aimed at me, not you. I believe in you. We all do. And you've earned that. Shuichi took a few more shaky breaths before he started to stand. You gonna be okay? Kaito asked. I'll be better once this is over, Shuichi claimed. We might need your help to end it, the astronaut admitted. Shuichi took one last cleansing breath before he once again could feel the ground beneath his feet. I'll end this. I have to. Everyone! The detective's return to form was quickly recognized by the rest of the group. Though they wanted to start questioning him, his words quickly began to follow. In regards to the invisible trap, I do think that's possible, he asserted. To be more precise, I think we should consider the idea that Gonta-kun was poisoned.
Poison?
Kaede questioned.
If there was a poison-based trap,
Maki considered.
then it's possible that whatever poisoned Gonta knocked Toju out too. And it might explain why he roughed up the lab. He was reacting violently to the toxin.
I still find it hard to believe someone could get poison in my lab without my knowledge.
Kirumi argued. No, there's a way that the poison could get into your lab, Shuichi countered. When you consider how the poison was delivered, how it affected you as opposed to Gonta-kun, why he was in your lab to begin with, who had access to the poisonous substances, and who the poison was really meant to kill, everything adds up perfectly.
Saihara-kun!
Kaede replied in awe.
It sounds like...
I think, the detective announced. I think I know who did it. Select a suspect. End of chapter 28.